Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Black Box. Before we begin, let me know in the comments if you were looking forward to this or what your thoughts were if you've seen it already, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews. It helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This sci-fi horror film stars Mamoudou Athie as Nolan, a man who lost both his wife and his memory in a car accident and struggles to regain control of his life. However, he undergoes a series of experimental treatments run by a doctor named Lilian, played by Phylicia Rashad, which causes him to question who he truly is. This is the first of 4 films released on Amazon Prime under the Welcome to the Blumhouse banner. It was released today along with another movie called The Lie, which I plan on covering in a separate video, and it's the feature debut of writer-director Emmanuel Osei-Kuffour. And I will say right off the bat, this is a solid debut. The direction and the atmosphere are some of this movie's strongest elements. There's this claustrophobic sense as many of the scenes take place in these more confined spaces, such as the doctor's office or these apartment buildings, and a lot of the camera angles will be close-ups, and the scenes inside the black box itself will consist of areas of a room being blackened out or faces will be fuzzy, and they may cause some of the people or the rooms themselves to come off as terrifying. Since Nolan has no recollection of his life before his accident, the pieces of the puzzle he's trying to put together seem scary to him. And it does a great job of building suspense and tension. The soundtrack helped set this eerie tone perfectly. It never resorted to jump scares and instead relied on visual cues consisting of bizarre imagery and playing around with locations that Nolan can't seem to recall to make us feel on edge. It's also a look inside this character's mental state, and despite its sci-fi heavy premise, it also incorporates some very grounded, realistic scenarios to help fuel his character development. Like, he has a hard time remembering to pick his daughter up from school because of his memory issues, and the threat of potentially losing her really drives him to want to get better. There's also a moment where he sees someone bruised in one of his episodes, and he worries that those were from him, and it really gets to him. This does a great job of giving the lead character a lot of depth, and he's someone we're really interested in. Some great performances also boost that. Mamoudou Athie is an extremely charismatic actor. He really brings out the vulnerability of a man who's trying as hard as he can to get his life back on track. It pains him that he can't remember simple things at times, as we see through his facial expressions, and we really get the feel for him. He also has very believable chemistry with Amanda Christine, who plays his daughter. We get a lot of scenes of them together, with her trying to set reminders for him and help him around the house. The scenes of them together give the film a sense of warmth that served as a breather in between the more suspenseful moments of him undergoing these treatments. Phylicia Rashad is also excellent here. I think she absolutely nailed this role. She gives off this sense of warmth, though the entire time with the nature of the black box itself, you're not entirely sure if you can trust her. She doesn't come across as obviously sinister or cartoonish by any means, but she gives you enough that because of these questionable experiments, you are left suspicious of her despite the friendly personality, and it adds to the tension. That being said, it's far from a perfect movie, and there were some notable faults. A smaller nitpick is that there will be lines of dialogue that will feel like very obvious foreshadowing. Like, there are times where Nolan's daughter or a friend of his will go, "Hey, I don't remember you acting like this." And there's such a heavy emphasis on that line, like it's trying to shove it in our faces that something's wrong. Most of the tension building is done through more visual cues that aren't so hammy like that, but there are a number of times you'll have this sort of delivery and I'm like, okay, we get it. Something's wrong. The film's make or break moment, though, will be at the halfway point. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a twist, and it's a hell of a turn of events. I don't even have so much of a problem with the twist itself, but the logic behind it is explained in such a casual manner that I'm not totally sure if I was able to suspend my disbelief there. And it does result in a tonal shift. It definitely starts to feel a little more grandiose, and it starts going bigger with the way it presents some situations. I kind of get why, because it's trying to raise the stakes and make things feel a little more exciting, but it takes such a sudden turn that I can see some people finding it off-putting. So that'll be the moment where you'll choose whether or not you want to continue with this. I definitely was thrown off myself. The movie was on its way to becoming great, and I think it's so jarring that it took me out of the moment. However, the performances remain consistently great, and because these characters are built up as so likable, I still want to know what was going to happen to them in that second half. And it does lead to a solid conclusion, but the journey there is really bumpy. It felt like there was a little more that could have been explored in that second half, so had it done that, it would have maybe smoothed things out. Overall, this is good, though it's far from perfect. It's got a lot of great performances, well-written characters, and for the most part does a great job of building up mystery and suspense. However, its second half is a wild change of pace from its first half, and the turn it takes will come off as very jarring. I can see audiences being split down the middle for this. Personally, I think it's a solid, if not great film to check out if you're looking for a new horror movie, and the good ultimately outweighs the bad. It's on Amazon Prime now if you want to see it. Black Box gets a 6.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Black Box or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the concept? Did you find it scary? And do you prefer sci-fi movies or horror movies? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.